It's Friday afternoon in Sydney, and it's time for Friday Beers with Marc and Stuart. I'm Stuart Roberts.
I'm Marc.
And we're the founders of Pitt Street Research, Australia's leading provider of issuer-sponsored equity research focused on small and mid-cap ASX companies. Now, Marc, what's with the wigs?
Well, as you know, it's Mardi Gras in Sydney.
Right.
And tomorrow is actually the big parade. So
Right.
This is a big shout out to the BLT community.
You mean the LGBTIQ
Yeah,
community?
that's what I mean. But
Right.
I just call it BLT.
Okay.
I forget all these letters.
Right.
There should be a U in there as well.
Okay.
For undecided.
Yeah.
Maybe.
There's a few more letters apparently coming, but at the moment I generally see LGBTI.
Right. Okay. Well, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Right, okay. So just for background for overseas viewers, this is the big gay pride parade for Sydney.
Yeah.
Happens every February or March. So, Marc, I was a little surprised by this. Australia is the first industrial country in the world.
I'll try not to look at you.
All right, okay.
Hang on.
All right. Okay.
Wait a minute.
All right. So, Marc, I looked into this. Australia was the first major industrial country in the world to have openly gay CEOs of leading industrial companies.
When was this?
This was so Alan Joyce becomes CEO of Qantas, November 2008. Now, if you look around the world, and I was actually surprised by this, no other major industrial country had an openly gay CEO of a leading, say, top 50 or top 100 company at that time. So chalk that up to Australia's record as one of the more progressive countries in the world, going right back to 100 years ago when women first got the vote here.
When did Tim Cook come on board at Apple?
And Tim Cook was a year later, well, several years later, 2011 after the death of Steve Jobs. He didn't actually come out formally until 2014, and that made him the first openly gay CEO of any Fortune 500 company. But that made me ask the question, well, first of all, I was surprised. Alan Joyce has been running Qantas for more than 10 years now, and that's way beyond the average tenure of top 100 CEO in Australia. So
What was that, about 4 years?
On average, about 4 years. So he must have done something right. So I looked into this. Qantas has returned, not excluding dividends, 9.8% per annum since Alan took the helm.
Right.
The average return for the ASX 200 in Australia has only been 4.9%. So basically, his performance has been double the market. So what's he been doing right? Since Alan took the helm, they've really revved up the Qantas international business in a big way. They've beefed up the fleet. It's much easier to get up to Asia now on a Qantas flight. The loyalty program's got, that's potentially a license to print money. They've expanded that in a big way.
Sales of data out of that?
Absolutely, yeah. The lounges are better. All the technology that goes behind the job of getting passengers from A to B has improved out of sight since he's come on board. So not only a big win for the LGBTI community in Australia, but a big win for shareholders
in Qantas,
since he took charge.
So you know what Warren Buffett said about airlines, right?
Right.
Never invest in airlines,
right.
Because there's so much stuff that can go wrong. You've got fuel prices that can spike.
Yes.
Terrorist attacks. Unions.
Yes.
Don't forget unions.
Yes.
And it's just big. There's a lot of unknowns, a lot of stuff that as an investor you don't have.
Your health.
Cheers. That it's hard to sort of predict these sorts of events.
Right.
So there's a lot that can go wrong with
Absolutely.
airlines. So
that's true.
Yeah. So these sorts of numbers are actually pretty good.
Look, Qantas has amongst the highest group operating margins in the world when it comes to airlines. You've got to go to Japan Airlines to get any better than that.
Where's the nuts? We don't have any nuts.
No nuts, but we've brought along some fruits for for today's Mardi Gras edition of Friday Beers. Some of the best margins in the game. Return on invested capital, 20%. I mean, that's outstanding for a capital intensive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And look, wait possibly till it comes down to the levels of 2014. There's always a good time to buy and sell, but it feels to me like the long run trend is up.
So what were the latest results like?
Oh, they were spectacular. Now, Marc, from planes to drones, we recorded an interview with Parazero this week. Talk to us about what the punters are going to see there.
Yeah, so have a look at the interview on our website with Eden, CEO of Parazero, and it's all about their move into the consumer space, which essentially gives them exposure to the largest drone manufacturer globally. So DJI manufactures one of the most popular drones. So they now have Para Zero now have a device that fits with that one. So have a look on our website. It's really interesting. I think looking at regulation, how that's changing is really a driving force for Para Zero.
Okay. Changing tack. You and I have been talking about the lousy speed of the internet here, which must have been driving you mad since you arrived from the Netherlands.
Oh, for sure. So what surprised me when we just got it, every time it rains, internet speeds go down for some reason. Mm-hmm. It's really, really strange.
Right.
Anyway.
Mine used to just cut out completely.
Oh, altogether? Right. So I just got a letter from Optus, the third one actually, saying that they'll cut me off my perfectly fine cable internet, which is working really well. They're cutting that off because they want me to move to NBN.
The evil behemoth of the NBN, which you have to, in our supposedly free economy, you have to actually be a customer of that, right?
Of a government monopoly, basically.
Right.
So yeah,
this is 2019, folks, not 1975.
Exactly, and I'm not looking forward to it because if you look at internet speeds globally, and we've got a chart on that, so we'll put that up here. But Australia actually, of all the sort of Western countries, including Japan, so Europe, US, Canada, and Japan, all those countries, Australia has by far the slowest internet speeds, and it's sort of a banana republic in that sense. And actually, it's an insult to banana republics because Madagascar, for instance, has better internet speeds than Australia. So the penguins of Madagascar have better internet access.
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it.
So, now this has been, people have been talking about this for years. I mean, it's been used in ad campaigns for some of Telstra's competitors. What's being done about it to speed up internet speeds?
Well, the thought was that NBN should basically deliver a better outcome. But it's not going to help. So by the time NBN is fully rolled out, of course, all the other countries that currently have better internet speeds are moving up to new technologies.
5G, right?
5G,
right? And we're going to be one of the last places in the world to get 5G by the looks of it.
It's for mobile, it's sort of starting to happen now. And last year when I was at Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, it was the talk was about 5G, mostly from a semiconductor point of view. So companies starting to offer that. So now you've got phones, you've got equipment in 5G, and actually what a lot of people thought last year thought that 5G wouldn't be viable for fixed wireless. So 5G in your home for home access to internet it's actually coming already. So I think looking at fixed wireless 5G, that's really the way forward because I think NBN, it's just a nightmare.
So who do we bet on in terms of companies that are going to take advantage of the coming 5G, even if it's slow here?
Yeah, so you've got Optus. It's rolling out fixed wireless 5G, just in select neighborhoods, not broadly right now. And Vocus, of course, in their cooperation with Optus in this space. They basically said the other day, when they announced their results this week, look, we're moving away from reselling NBN, and we're putting more focus on rolling out fixed wireless for the home, that is. I think that was well received by the market. Share price ticked up nicely on the back of that. And if you look at the chart, you'll see that Vocus has sort of gone through sort of a dip, and I think it's sort of moving in the right direction now. With things like moving away from NBN, that sort of stuff is really should be helpful. I noticed these beers here, and I know there's a story related to our Mardi Gras theme.
Absolutely. So this is Cooper's Brewery Original Pale Ale. Now, without going into the details, you can Google this up. Coopers were caught in a bit of a scandal in 2017, the Bible Society scandal of 2017. They've been struggling to get back market share ever since. And I actually put this beer on my blacklist for a while. But I decided to practice the Christian.
Why was that?
Well, judge for yourself. They kind of got caught in the middle between two warring factions during the same-sex marriage referendum we had a couple of years ago. I decided to leave them alone because they'd flip-flop between the two sides. Anyway, I'm practicing the Christian virtue of forgiveness and coming back and started to drink this one again. It's very dependable drinking. Now, Cooper's, remember, is a mainstream brewer. It has about 5% of the beer market there. It's actually the largest Australian-owned brewery in the country. The Cooper's family have owned this thing since the 1860s. When they began to turn around their brewery to go against the really big guys, part of the secret of their success was making sure that the quality was first class. Now, this pale ale doesn't really shoot the lights out on the hops. Its IBU is only 24. Haven't been able to establish what the hops are. I think it's Simcoe because you can taste a little bit of a piney feel in there. But it's fair to say that if Australians are drinking pale ale, it's in part due to Cooper's family actually brewing this beer and pitching it quite successfully to customers over many years. I'm all is forgiven, Tim Cooper and family. We're drinking your beer again.
Cheers.
Cheers. And happy Mardi Gras to everyone who's celebrating this weekend.
I'll see you next week.
See you next week.